Yep. Yep, folks. How are you? How are you? How are you? Good to be with you. Good to be with you. To be with you, nice. I think there was some English guy who used to say that. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Well, what have we got for you today? A little old Goldie run, haven't we? Just a little old reset sniper, wooba juba by the precious metals. It's all going tits up. Yep. Where'd you hear that before? That's what's going down. We are going live with you, and I'm glad to have you. I am going to share the link. 12 of you already on. Looking to share the link with my good peeps of the community. How's life going? How are you all doing? Yep. So we've got it right now happening. Gold is looking and gunning, soon to be an X target, I think, for the $1,500 mark. And we are certainly in the bull market we promised you. Now, I'm going to do a tiny bit of promo. This is how it ran type stuff. Going live, and also a tiny bit of honesty. I haven't traded it perfectly. I've only got one of my accounts that have properly held on and hodled. I took an HVF target. Could have left some on for the overperformance I was expecting, but it was such a jittery move that it went up, first down, then up and first down. I was a bit burnt out by all the excitement. But we have silver, current high for silver. Check in with you right now. 16,995. That's right. 16,995. Current high for gold. I don't think you can trade any higher without actually trading 17. And is the Goldie doing the business? Current high for gold. Gold, hot off the press, according to Oanda Exchange. Your current high, 1499.40. 0.40. So we've got virtually $1,500 gold, virtually $17 silver, and we had a bumpy HVF. I'm looking at it right now on the chart that shook us about. Like to give us a little bit of emotional. You earn your trades in the emotionality. Eventually, we made our 1470 target, and the overperformance has given an additional $30. What's happened as soon as this hits the headlines? Smackdown time, and you will actually probably see that there will be some form of a pullback. Hey, Wooston, hello. Moon is silver today. Yes. Humayan Khalid, how are you? Good to see you, buddy. Yep, so we're just doing a quick live for folks in the peeps here, just to say, by the way, give it a thumbs up if you don't mind, just so that other people can come in and join us. We're going live. We want to help you see in all the critical moments of the reset. Would you like me to be here as Deutsche Bank is admitted to being bankrupt? Would you like me to be here and sharing the moment with you when we run 2,000 gold and $30 silver and $50 silver and $100 silver and 3,000 gold and Bitcoin 25,000? If you would like, hit the like. If you would like, hit the like. Tell me you want me to do this. You want to come and see the key milestones in the reset sniper realm, this absolute fake autocracy of fiat proliferation scam that is. I'm hoping you've been loading up on silver monster boxes, stacking them in the garage like that. Whoop, whoop, ever higher to the sky. A slightly smaller stash, but even more valuable, of the good old XAU. Hello, Hossam, Arabic courses. Yo, Francis, how are you doing, buddy? Jules Antonovics, hello. How are you guys? Hello. Good to see you all. So let's give you the check-in on the two precious metals. So here's the thing. This is the order of drop down. This is the order of drop down. Some of you say, oh, I can't afford your course. I don't want to come on. I'm going to give you the secret sauce that you not only going to afford my course, you're going to put me in a new house and you're going to send a Rolls Royce in my favorite color to me. That's what I'm going to give you today. If you're interested, hit like. If you're not interested, you're hurting my feelings and I'm going to go away and cry and become an introvert and dig a hole in the ground and take my teddy bear and lie in it and wait for death to befall me. Yes. That's what I'm going to do. Please don't do that to me. I have loved ones They want to see more of me just sleeping in a hole in the ground with a teddy bear. So hit the like, share with your mates. So here's the secret sauce that's going to help you make a bunch of money. Actually, staying in this trade open, you're going to continue to get positive news and good gifts. There will be pullbacks. If you trade too big, you won't be able to get out. Being reminded of my slightly imperfect execution, if I have to say, here on my main trading account. Just got to my target and I was relieved just to get out. And now I'm watching it go even further. Only my investment holdings and my smaller trading accounts are actually doing better. Why? Because we get damn greedy. Always we get damn greedy. Even if you have the secret sauce, you can imperfectly execute. So I'm going to give you all the clues and the lessons that go with it. So there's probably after the 1500 mark, after the $17 mark, going to be some form of pullback. It may not be as big as we think, but there could be a fairly chunky little pullback. But let me just say to you, you think the dollar versus gold and silver is good. Wow. We have got setups. I gave you charts, so let's just go through this. Historically, the precious metals we've nailed. People are coming to me, when's the precious market bull? I said, not now, not now. 2016 lows spiked up. I said, yes, it's going to spike up, but it's not now. It's not now. Went on many gold bull things. It's not now. I was the Grinch who stole Christmas. It was always not now. It ain't ready. It could even go lower, etc., on the big time frames. From 2011, every dare step, I said it's bear market. It's going to keep going down. The time will come. It ain't now. You can't take fruit off the immature trees that isn't there to be had. You can't pick the seedlings. It's not your lemon. It's not your grapefruit. It's not your apple. You can't take the fruit before it's ready. And then we got to a small falling wedge in one of our structures at roughly the beginning of this year. And we said, we could be beginning to set up. We gave you the 1350 and said it's absolutely confirmed, but we're actually buying already because we have an HVF structure. That's what we do. We're going to be trading it. That all started roughly May. I was doing YouTubes May and saying, I think the bull is coming and it'll be confirmed on the takeout on the 1345-ish, which was the key 1350 mark. It got broken. You should be net long. Guess what? It's now 1500. $250. If you'd had even moderate size on that and just hodled it all the way through, you would have done great. I've not done that successfully enough on my big accounts. On my smaller accounts, I've been better. Why? Because there's no greed genie and I forget about them because it's small beer. The ones you try work, you do much. The money's made in the sitting when the key big moves come. And sometimes when you're in trader mode, you have to actually go into investment trade mode. Slight difference. A long-term trade is going to pay you damn well. In other words, it's that balance between the hodl and the investment. These are big monthly charts, big setups. First HVF setup in a new trend. You're going to go high. And by the way, we gave you targets in YouTube. For the GBP using HVF method. I'm looking at the chart right now as I speak to you, and I'm going to remind you because you silly little puppies, you need reminding. You don't listen to me and you don't write it down. You don't say, oh, the lad's got a little bit of form here. Why don't we just write it down? Then we can buy his course and be his best bud and be in the online community with some of the guys that are popping onto the live feed right now. We said 1502 against the pound. Yep. And then we'll have some form of a rest, but we'll still be in a macro bull market for thousands. All the other people, the commentators that don't have HVF method, they just try outdo each other and go 20,000 gold, 10,000 gold, whatever. But the journey there is going to be bumpy. You need, as a trader, to know where the key short-term traded targets are and medium-term targets are so that you can invest and you can also leverage trade. So here you have a look at gold versus GBP. Guess what? From that break, and this was the value of 360-degree analysis and the community and looking at all charts across gold. If the story is gold, look at it across all charts. We had setups in every single currency. Every single fiat turns to crap compared to gold and is losing right now. In fact, they're worse than the dollar. So this pound is melt up. 1st of May, our stop loss level, 972 in pounds. It's 1,233 right now, going for 1,502. Yo, you in Britain, what are you doing worth tons of GBP in a savings account, in a policy, in an insurance, in an investment? based in pounds when you could get a run from 1200 to 1500 in short succession. It's going to come quickly in a breakout mode. You should be holding physical in your investments, and you should have 1 or 2 small-sized hodl trades leveraged long. That's what you should be doing. Oh, you in Euroland, all the way from Cyprus in the Middle East, all the way to Spain, France, Northern Europe, etc. Your target is on HVF method. Write it down, 1685, and you will possibly overshoot, and you can get overperformance. You will do only a half close when you get there. That's me talking to myself as well. I was imperfect here. So many things going on. Excuses, they're all excuses. Some good execution, but 75% could be better. Making money when you could have made more money. But that's okay. You don't go bust making money. But this is a generational trade. This is a generational trade. You just need to be sitting long. This is an investment trading long with big time frame setups almost. And even when they make their targets, just trim your size a little bit. You'll get a slight pullback, and then you want to be back in again, and you're going to get new setups. So, my friends in the Middle East, let's talk Turkey. We get a lot of Middle Eastern folk from the lovely land of Turkey. XAG 822. You've only been higher when the Turkish lira had its first collapse against the dollar with all those sanctions and wati. 8757 lira. 8757. Now you are sitting at 8205 after dipping down to 6272. My friends in South Africa, or the Rand, oh my God, new highs. It's absolutely killing it, the Rand. Oh, the poor, poor Rand. Oh my God, you are now through 22,345 Rand for one itsy weeny little coin ounce of the yellow gold stuff. 22,345 Rand. Oh my God, that is huge. Taking out the high of 16. What about the yen? The most stalwart of fiats, in my view, that's going to do well when the dollar has its little moment, when it has the whole reset thing, does its skitto moment. Your stop was at the 128,000 yen. You're now trading 158,000, and you're making 180,000 yen. Now, many of you don't know the yen. It's not for you. How about that property balloon that is Australia? Australia. Oh, bless Australia. They skipped a little rinse out of 2008-09. They thought they were special, and now they're going to keep steaming ahead. I'm afraid, Australia, your currency is almost outranding the Rand. It is at all-time highs in gold terms. You are 2,220 Aussie dollars. Our stop was down at 1605. That was literally the beginning of August 18 or H3. This trade got triggered first before any other fiat at 1767. It's now 2219. And you are a gold producer. Shame on you. So South Africa, but they're only 7th nowadays. But thank God you actually dig some of the stuff out the ground. You are going to overperform. You're almost at your first target. This is the one that's closest to its target at 2247. This has been in a breakout. We saw that the Aussie versus gold was in a breakout before any other currencies. We understood it because we also look at the property boom. They need all their banks to go bust and all the housing to lose 50%. They don't want that to happen. What do? They kill the currency, killing the currency, currently killing the currency. Oh my goodness, he's singing a hymn today. Poor Australia. You are the first to be in the gold breakout. You will be the first to be in target, and you will definitely overperform. You'll be doing overperformance before the others have even made it through the main race. You'll be doing victory laps. My goodness, so Australia, bad. Guess what? Platinum, actually, I expect a little dip down. I expect platinum to break down. Why? It's a bullion. Everything else is going up. Vehicles. And palladium's role in replacing it in vehicles to a large degree. A little dip down. But eventually it will join the party. And then for all those that missed the silver and gold run, we will jump on the platinum train. So there's going to be there's going to be a falling order, guys. This is important. You get to run the same race and win a gold medal 4 or 5 times in this reset cycle. You see, many of the equities are underperforming. They aren't doing so great. Yes, some of them are going up. Some of them are going down. I bought Fresnillo and it broke down on debt ratings. These guys have lived through a bear cycle in precious metals that they've loaded up on so much debt that they're getting downgraded the full time. They're getting downgraded. They deserve to go bust just about. And they're going to exit the business. It's not actually going to happen. The price is coming just in time. Fresnillo met a local low of 570. Let's just check it. This is a key listed silver miner in the UK. Many of you have access to trade UK shares, even if you're not there. It's low in 15 before the 16 spike was. Looking at the charts, 569.6. And its low was 570 recently. It just held its last low. But this one will go 20s, 30s, 40s in time. In time, Fresnillo will go big time as an equity. But the metals move first and have to show that this is not just a temporary spike. You see, other people don't understand that there's an absolutely broken financial system, or if they do understand that, they don't realize that gold is for keeps, because most of the time gold is useless. It's kind of just limbers along the bottom for them. And it had a little moment in 2011 during subprime, but so what? They've forgotten about it already. It's all other things. But what will happen is the metals run gold first, then gold silver ratio, he says, switching chart to be relevant and tell you all about it. We had a major slap down from one end of a rising wedge. I see other people now doing articles. Oh, this rising wedge. We called this wedge before anybody. We called this bull market before anybody. And we told them it was still a bear market when they wanted to call it a bull market before it was a bull market. We've been killing the precious metals. You're in a rising wedge. We touched the high side going to 93.5. That means you need 93.5 ounces of silver just to get a single ounce of gold. You came smack down with a proper short, sharp slap in the face to the bottom end, and then you got a wee rally when gold took to leading things. And now you hit the midpoint. You'll learn about midpoints in rising wedges on one of our technical programs. The return move to the midpoint is often a great entry short. I think we could go down and out the bottom of that wedge, and silver will be outperforming. How many monster boxes do you have under your bed? Go and get them. There's no excuses for people that say, oh, I don't have the money. Gold is so expensive. I can barely trade. I can't do a course. Do you have $17? Okay, you have the money. Okay, start with one. Buy one a month, buy one a week, and when you can, buy one every 3 days, buy a tube a month, buy a tube a week, buy a monster box a month, buy a monster box a week, buy a monster box every goddamn day with your lunch box. Sit there, put the two of them next to each other, have a Sami, look at that tube of real money, slot it, feel it, finger it like you're precious, okay? There's no excuses. You can all start small. It happens. I've got a BullionVault link for you. Where's the BullionVault link? I'm going to post it out. This can be done for you. You can claim, it's absolutely allocated 100% backed, and you can claim your own bar once you have enough. That will be your name and registered in you. None of these ETFs, exchange traded funds that actually scam you and supposedly have unallocated and actually don't expect you to draw it, so they only have 1 ounce for every 10 ounce that they are carrying on with. No. I'm going to put my BullionVault link in the link here. You can go and buy £10 worth. If that's all you have, you can save and put a debit order of £10 a month. Buy into this, average along the bottoms, and it will work. It will work for you. Let me get that link. So while I'm talking to you, I'm going to give you that link. Go and open an account. Yes, they'll KYC you. They all do, the bastards. But never mind. You can move and everything. They want to know who you are and what your name is. That's no reason not to make the money. It's no reason not to make the money. And you can have it vaulted in Singapore instead of Toronto, London, New York, and Switzerland, which are all options for you as well. If you think you'd rather not have the Western hegemony used against you. So I'm just looking for that link. I'm going to find it for you. I'm suddenly decided to do this and share this with you, and now I have to go find it. useful trading resources. I think it might be in there. Maybe I can get it off the book. So this is what's happening. Let's have a look at the price chart while I dig around and I'm scratching around for my link where you can go and open accounts. The XAG, the silver gold ratio, by the way, at the moment is 88.36, down from 93.5. That was a very, very high point in terms of the two. It is down, and that is a good thing. And it could go right down to around 30, which would be very, very, very good for you. Here we go. Here we go. What's happening? I'm still looking for my links for you guys. Let's see what your questions are while I've been speaking. Is there a way to show pricing of Aussie property and gold? Yes, you've got to do it the hard way, Skynet. I had that very t-shirt, by the way, black and red, and then my missus threw it away. She said I look tatty in it. I can't believe that. That's terrible. But yeah, there is indeed. And what you need to do is the hard way, I'm afraid. You have to download your data. So I did this for UK housing property. You can get Nationwide and Halifax house browsing. There'll be some nasty little bank scammer that will actually have the data, by the way, guys. And you'll be able to download that data, put it in a sheet. You have to download the gold price. You have to download the Aussie versus the dollar exchange rate so that you can convert the gold or dollar price into it. And I went to that degree of headache, and I did it for UK house property, and I drew graphs of it, and I actually I think I did a YouTube on it that was free view long time ago, and I reckon that the overall price in the absolute lows could see UK properties average property price be a sub 1 ounce of gold. Yes, you heard me right. 1 ounce of gold, sub 1 ounce of gold. In other words, that you had this ever broadening element. It got to not much above at certain periods. You know, it was around 2 and just sub 2, and then they keep pumping the higher high, and then you kept getting much bigger smash down. So it got a lot more volatile. That's what 1913 and the creation of the Federal Reserve has brought you. Plus, of course, the banking cartel that already existed in Europe. So you can, but it's going to take a bit of work. It might be worth doing again. Rhodium at 3610 says FGT. Let's see some of these comments. A lot has been going on here. Safe havens are awake this week. Yes, indeed. I have a miner too. Gold is a joke compared to Bitcoin. The week is weak. Why physical? Will it be that serious? Will it be that serious? Okay, so here's how the dollar is the last man standing and then dies. It's kind of like a game when you're fighting and you're going to the end and there's a big boss and you have lots of peripheral bosses that help the boss and fight you, and you can kill them relatively easily, but there's lots of them and you have to kill them. And then in between killing them, you get a couple of shots on the boss, and then you go back to killing and just staying alive and not being killed by all the peripheral manservants to the boss. That's like the likes of the Southeast Asian currencies, the pound, the smaller currencies. They're all crashing and dying. And then eventually, after you've got enough rounds into the big gorilla that is the dollar, it falls, and then the whole game changes. You go to a new level. You've never got there before. It's like suddenly there's a new level. You go from being on land jumping over rocks, now you got a snorkel on and a goggle, and you're underwater shooting sharks. That's what happens in the game. That's what's going to happen here. It's a whole new game. It's a reset. It's a whole new set of criteria. That'll rhyme, and there will still be the same control structure bastards, and they're going to still be looking to control you, and they will still have and reserve the right to proliferate a money so that they can tax you. Every time they proliferate money, it means tax. They are reducing what you can buy. So they create all this liquidity and you think it's great. None of it is given to you. It's loaned at next to 0% to institutions and big corporations, their friends that are all part of the cartel. You want to borrow money on your credit card, it's still 29%, 16.9%. You want a personal loan, it's still 10%, 7%. You want to do anything of any nature that involves capital, they want to ask you 21 questions, and who's your auntie, and is she still a man or is she become a woman? And they're going to want to know. They're going to want to know it all. Okay. Hey, from Australia. Yes, indeed. So let's have a look. Carl Jung. I talk to bankers in my business all the time. They think the fiat system is fine and no end to the bubble economy. And will they not just half fall hard? They certainly shall seashores. Sorry, that's AU got to 1499.50, but now in retreat. So it looks like we might be bulking at the key round number, the key level of significance. Moving to yen. Yes, yen is your strongest currency out of the fiats, but it is in a breakout HVF2 against the fiat golds. So here's what you do. You keep enough money to survive and no money in active saving, just enough for liquidity for everyday expenses and your salary coming in, and you keep just peppercorn balances to cover against maybe a little bit of a drama or something that went wrong. The rest should all be in investment, gold and silver, in my view. Overweight. People talk about 10% this and 5% that and Twitter little things. I'm not an advisor. This is not advice. I'm telling you what I'm going to go in. At key critical moments, you've got to have the gonads to go big. And you've got to ask yourself, is this really just a little passing fad, or is there properly stuff going down? Okay, so that's the one trade for you. Small, stay net long, and keep going with your leverage longs on gold and silver. And silver will accelerate. But don't put on too much. You've got a size. You've got to be able to put this trade on almost without a stop. Yeah, don't do it now, because it might just have a little bit of a and then it's going to have a pullback. So wait for bottoming, wait for a signal, a little bit of basing out. I'll be handling that with my premium community, and we'll be loading up again. We'll be recharging, pumping new shells into that shotgun while we go shooting all the banker fiats to death. We're going on a hunting posse. And we're putting to end the fakery and the messing around that these guys have got up to. You got to choose that moment carefully by yourself if you're not already in our game with us. And I'm going to give you another trade. It might not be easy to find, but most brokers, not all brokers, have it. So let's say you can only do fiat. You don't have gold as an option. Okay. The USD Korean won. This is a Southeast Asian call for major weakness in all Southeast Asian currencies, not including the yen. Not the yen. The yen will be abnormally strong, and it will have a stab down of strength, in our opinion, against the dollar. That will take it sub 90 to the 88, and there will be overperformance again to that. So that's our first close level. So I've given you that as a trade. USD JPY, but the moon shoot, which is going to be a halvening and possibly beyond, is the USD KRW. USD KRW. You guys will get this wrong, so I'm going to type it for you. KRW. IG index in the UK does it. Plus 500 does it. Interactive Brokers in the US does it. USD KRW, you will run 2,080 and you should only close half of it. You could even see 3,000 or 2,750 on a moon shoot spike, and it is coming. It is coming in 6 months' time. Those of you that heard me now and listened will be on our course and in our program from that one trade, and you should hodl it. You should put it on and you should hodl it. No stopper. You don't have to be big. Don't get shaken out. You should hodl it. Now, again, this is not advice. This is me talking aloud and saying, hey, I got some ideas that I feel really strongly about, and all the stuff that I'm expecting to have happen is currently happening. So we in flow for now until we fall out of flow. And that's it. That's my opinion. It's not advice. But we think 2.7, 2.8 major overshoot, could even go past 3, could even go 3.5. I'll be watching it live. It'll be a huge one. That for me is our $1 million trade. We have a little challenge called the $1 million challenge inside our self-study material. We're going to be bringing that one alive. That one trade will be probably the first of our $1 million challenge. You might do the whole $1 million challenge in a single trade if you get it right. So I'm going to look to work it with stops so that I virtually get over 100 risk to reward to 1. And then I'll put a couple of thousand on it on risk, and I'll get it wrong 3 or 4 times before I go. So careful now. Do your own thing. See how it is. Don't buy gold jewelry. You're overpaying for the gold, and you will get impure gold. 18 karat isn't 4 nines. Get 4 nines. Rather get purest gold. Bars are actually better because you pay for coinage a little more. It's hard to get bars when it's gold. Get bars with it's silver. You can afford them. They're relatively cheap. You can get small ones. Get small bars of gold. The minute you're in coins, it's slightly higher because it's, it's shaped. It's crested. It's got some degree of numismatic value that costs more than the spot price. Hello, everyone, says Menyo Donahue. Hello, Menyo. Fresnillo could be a great entry right now. It's because that debt downgrades that took it and it held its support. So it could be a very good entry right now. Abe is Trump's favorite lapdog. Abe just put sanctions on Korea after Korea delayed deployment of THAAD missiles. Is that North Korea or South? I'm hoping that it's North. I'd be disappointed if they sanctioning. So the Korean won. We will all have said later how nice it was to have won on the one. And you can decide if you want to be part of that team. And as I've said, big shout. And I'm going to be carrying my premium community. We're watching it. We're looking for our interests. We're going to try and nail and get this one absolutely right. We'll go live together when the key moment is there. If it doesn't ever perfectly come, we're going to inch our way in. You'll be seeing what we're going on about, and we're going to be taking that one to the moon, along with gold and silver, which is going to keep staircasing setups higher and higher. Reset is here, folks. It's happening. It doesn't happen. There isn't one straw. It wasn't Lehman Brothers, guys, that broke 2008. We never dealt with that whole drama. As you know, we've been in a depression virtually since 2000 with a bunch of fakery and skullduggery and monetary shenanigans. They've run out of road now. It's not any one event. Chinese CN50 as a long. So, Jeffrey, the problem is the currency. If you're not buying the equities and losing all that you gain, you might make, where there's big currency devaluations, the equity market does indeed go up. If you can CFD off that and you're not having a currency adjustment, fine. Don't take your money out of yen and go put it into rands or RMB or yuan to invest in those markets. I'm pretty much assuming you wouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, a lot of stuff to go down. Yes, hello, Michael Morris from Australia. Nice to be speaking to the Aussies. Quite a few of you on board with us. And yep, that's how they're letting some of that steam out of the property market. Love the content. Discovered you when you appeared on iGold Advisor. Yes, Wayne Grizz, how are you? Well done. Are you stateside? Let us know. Yeah, good lad, the iGold Advisor, Chris Aaron. Been on his podcast, and as I said a number of times, if you saw any of them, technically it's not ready yet. So a couple of times, I think the first time might have been 15 or 14, and then again roughly late 16 or whatever, and then not so long ago, actually, I think some point last year here, again, we're getting there, but not quite there. Yes, so but now the bull is here, and Chris Aaron is right on prepared. He's fundamentally been always right. And now the technical is there to say today's the time. So Aussie is a weak currency, full stop. Samuel Gurges, I think it is, or Gurges. Correct me if I've got it wrong there. Forgive me. Platinum still fast asleep, Graham. Yep, it is still fast asleep for now. In fact, it could dip a little lower in an irony of ironies. Most of the other metals will be strong. Let's just have a look at palladium. I don't know if any of you are geeks and interested in the palladium. But I have them all here. So that's platinum. We did a great resets one, and we highlighted how gold will go up against oil. Did you see how crap oil has been? We said gold will go up against copper. Have you seen how crap copper has been? The relationship between all of these pairs, kind of like a silver-gold ratio, gold-copper, gold-oil, they are all doing exactly technically what we expected them to do. Looking at the copper chart, major breakdown, head and shoulders copper. Where's all this great economic activity? Where are all those houses? Where are all those cars needing copper wire to here in infinity to do wiring? They ain't buying. There's too much. There's a glut of output. There's a major fall off the cliff. We are right here and now. We got a problem. My original guesstimation is that Trump would get a second term so that they can do like they did on Bush Jr. and blow the whole economy up on his second term so he can leave loathed and hated and resented and blamed and bring in their Bolshevik communism that they plan to bring in with all those little morons that are doing the debates, where every single one of them wants to do healthcare for every immigrant that comes in legally or illegally. In other words, keep blowing the largesse of money, keep printing the money, and every time they print that money, they devalue what's in your pocket. That is inflation. The core of inflation is money devaluation. It's, in other words, proliferation. And you'll say, but we don't see it in the prices as much. You are seeing it in the prices. They're lying to you. Things costing a lot more write a few things down, do the shopping once instead of your wife. Things are costing immense amount more. All the benchmarks and measures are being deceitful, rebased. You're no longer comparing like for like. There is huge inflation. That is one of the reasons why they're doing all these gluts of oil, tar sands in Canada and fracking, these once-off non-economic ecology, even though they're supposed to be so concerned about the greens. The government tells you about the environment the whole time. They all get elected for worshipping the environment. David Cameron, to become prime minister, had to go hug a husky. Just got an alert there on the USD ZAR. Oh, dearie me, the ZAR, the ZAR, the ZAR. How bizarre. The ZAR is falling. It's not bizarre at all. It's to be expected. And that's with the gold, the fact that they have some gold in them. Let's have a look at the ZAR. I've got alerts popping. Guys, this is big with the stuff. Tripwires I've set long time ago that I thought weren't working, all going off. Starting last week, we did the FOMC together. We did non-farm. It was a huge non-farm. It was a great non-farm. Put the guys in high yield debt, short corporate high yield debt. It gapped on Monday, right the hell down. Put them in copper short. It's also down. It's triggering a mini broadening pattern on the right shoulder of a head and shoulder. There's patterns within patterns within patterns for new lows. Yep. You could have been there. You could have been there. You'd be making way more than you paid just to come and spend some time and be entertained and put on 2 trades and understand why and enjoy yourself for an afternoon. That's what you could have done. Well done to all of those that did come. And of course, well done to all my premium guys that are permanently with me and we're sharing all the time. God bless them. They are loved and appreciated, and we will be taking them to the promised land, hopefully on this reset. I am hoping that everyone who will have at some point invested their earnings will get such a multiple out of this reset that it will be deemed the best thing they ever did in their life. And we won't do perfect execution because we're a bunch of humans, but I'm expecting it. And I look forward to having the go-to meetings on the critical events here with them. They won't mind this one going free view. It's just numbers. I don't even know if we're going to make the 1500. Is it going to bulk at the 1500 gold? I think a silver. How high did it go? Literally, let's have a click here. So silver made a high of 995. No change to the silver high. It's having a huffle and a sniffle at that big line in the sand. It's classic key levels of significance theory, of course. You trade it for that level and then it hops and it bites. And of course, there's a bunch of sellers there because people are lazy. It's triggering events. It's a headline level. What's gold done? 1494.01 at the moment. By the way, it was a rising wedge and it's done a blowout at the top. So if it balks too long, it's going to begin its correction after having a run for that tape. It's like an exhausted marathon runner that dives for the line and just misses the tape. That's done. And then it's cooked and then it has a proper little pullback first. So it's not the time right this second to be putting on those long-term hodl till infinity trades. Not the time. There will be a chance that you get in a bit earlier and lower. Yes, when there's blood in the streets, the land will be in the red, says Paul. Yeah, it sounds pretty ominous, Paul. I'd like to keep my blood largely in here and let it be the fools that bleed, or at least the banks. I'm all for them bleeding. By the way, we've been short Barclays, we've been short banks. Oh my God, I started on Deutsche Bank so long ago. I can't do it anymore. Everyone else is now talking about Deutsche Bank. They've almost like stolen our trade there, but we've had a great run with it short. But I mean, it's so big and so significant. It's going to be another banner thing. We'll do a live like this when they finally admit to that one being taken into government custody. BTC, good question. So crypto is now establishing itself. Whoops, there's another alert. Okay, it's the Rand. Okay, let's go have a look. It's like a maid that pisses you off. You got to look at me first, otherwise I'll just keep beeping you. Okay, so the Rand is in a proper breakout, chaps. 1505 after being hanging at the 14.7s for a while. It's in an, again, structured pattern. This is why we have the alerts. And we called this as well, Rand weakness. They want to do the land grab. Good luck to you. Kicking all your farmers out. Not the smartest move in the world. But, you know, if you want to do that, this is what you'll reap. But I mean, this is going to be broad. They've got dollar-based debt as well. There's real reasons. All emerging market currencies that have dollar-based debt are going to be absolutely pounded. They're going to be pounded if the dollar is relatively strong. They're trying to keep the dollar relatively strong to hide how strong the gold has been. Look at gold against any of the others. Do me this favor. Go to TradingView after this. If you've got time while I'm speaking, do it now. Look at any other currency gold. Get in the habit of looking at any other currency. And it's like this, a flagpole. It's like that. So, and everyone only talks about gold in the dollar. Until the dollar's ready to fall, then it falls hard. It's like that big boss I was describing in the games technology. Rand is in an absolute ripper. We had a small time frame setup that I spoke of with the guys that I said would probably have a break. And let's have a look at it on the bigger time frame. And it is doing exactly that. You had the low 2. Wow. And it's absolutely ripping. It's absolutely ripping, man. And they still have the yellow, they still have some gold. It's a great shame. Great shame, but I mean, this is going to be many other emerging currencies. So how do they stop property from not falling through the floor? What they do is they devalue fiat, and your price of your property holds value. So we're having a fiat proliferation cadenza here. They're going into negative interest rates. Actually, it'll pay you to hold money. That makes gold very damn attractive because it doesn't ask you for money at the end of every month. All those things Buffett said, oh, it pays no yield, pays no thing. It doesn't send you any bills each month. There was one guy on Max Kaiser was trying to say we might get negative 25% interest. I was like, mate, the game will be long over before that happens. But you're getting -1. You have a hole in the back garden and a bar of gold. He keeps quiet as your pet rock does, my friend. You don't say nothing, and you don't send no invoices, and you don't send no bills. Your douche bank, as Carl Jung wants to refer to it, they're going to trim your balance every time. You should not have significant fiat beyond that which you need for an emergency and immediate needs in any of your bank accounts. The banks will fail. They're going to steal it. You should have PMs under your control. What's that camera ray? It's like an earthquake in here. Hey, listen to me now. Precious metals. Sorry, I won't do any more of that. Some of you might have got seasick. But it feels like McFly. Okay, so you get it. I think you get it. I mean it. They're going to start stealing your money. They're going to start stealing it slow, and they're going to start stealing it. Then they'll steal it fast. That's what's going to happen. It's default by another name. It's default by another name. Negative interest rates is default by another name. The Russians are building gold, and the ruble is better, but just don't play fiat. Don't play fiat. What do you want to do? Sit with a bank account full of rubles, Paul? Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't need fiat. You don't need fiat. You don't need fiat. Euro ZAR. Yes, 2 weak currencies. Rather just take the dollar against the ZAR. Okay, you can stop alerting me now. Just TradingView sweating it hard. Oh, it's going even higher. Oh, my God. We're watching the rand fall through its ass. My God. Oh, godget. Wat maak julle daarso? Julle maak nie mooi nie. That's Afrikaans, in case you didn't know. Yep, that's for my South African friends. The game's not going well. Uncle Cyril wants to steal the land, and unfortunately, that's not going down well. That fractal HVF, we should be long the rand. We should be long the rand. Oh my God, we should be long the rand. Let's see, is there time? We don't like to chase. We don't like to chase, but we should be long that rand. Boy, oh boy, is it just a breaker. It's a ripper. It's an absolute ripper. ZAR dying, he says. ZAR dying. To my good friends in the community, quickly, just in case some of them aren't on the live feed here, put him on notice. The ZAR is dying, so they know what's going on. If we get a little pullback, maybe we'll take it. It's going almost close to its RH2. It's going to be another one, but the Korean one, guys, is a halvening. It's virtually a halvening, and with overperformance, it'll probably be a halvening. USD ZAR dying. So it's kicking off. There's serious instability. The system, it's like we're all in a submarine, guys. And it's like the depth charges are starting to blow near under, like Red October, and the whole thing's been shaken, and you're hearing one or two screws or bolts going, ba-dang! And it's like whizzing past your head and bouncing off your mate's cap, and he's half knocked out and hitting some gauge. And there's like, oh, Captain, I can't believe it. We're taking water. Shh, this is what's happening. The system is under great, great stress. We're seeing currencies moving. We're seeing gold absolutely getting disorderly. Wow, Rand, look at that. It was down at 13.8 in July, and it's at 15.09. That's a big, big move. New Zealand cuts benchmark interest rate. Also, a housing bubble. New Zealand needs to they all need to weaken their currencies. China's weakening their currencies. The dash to trash. This is no longer a dash. This is a full-on frenzy. These guys are all rushing to all the pumps. There's weakness in the global economy. Everybody wants Trump ups taxes basically on his own citizenry by adding tariffs. And what do the Chinese do? They don't want to sell any less of their stuff. They just let their currency fall by the amount that he's up tariffs. And so we go, and so we go. There is weakness, and there's competition for who gets to carry the weakness can. An ever-shrinking pizza, and you've all got trying to get bigger slices so that you get to eat the same amount. And it's just no good. It's just no good. Wow, 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 wow. I can't get over that, the Rand. I'm looking at this chart, man. It is being obliterated. It had an absolute wind-up of what a breakout. What a breakout. We'd marked that one as a watcher. We'd marked it as a watcher. Look at that, baby, go. I hope some of the guys are in that one. You can only trade so many. You can only trade so many of the things. Let's have a look at the trade that I was telling you about. And this is your haymaker, your millionaire trade. Is your USD Korean won. Not moving right now. Pretty stable, pretty blocky, quiet there. Buy it on limit orders below is what my message to myself is. You take of it what you will. And I will scale up, and I think we will have a moon spike that will take us through a halvening. And if you think we've never done that before, we called the euro Swiss franc before anyone knew. And the euro was no longer, not even known as a weak currency. And it fell from 1.5 to touching parity. That was a big, big move. You're talking about a 30% move between two very Western European country nation states. So these things happen. They do happen. It's a very good quality setup on a super macro for us. What else are you guys saying? What else are you going? Young, apologies. Good point, Mr. Yang. Good point, Mr. Young. Ounce coins, man on street can buy kilos, are good for major wealth storage. Yes, that's right. He is right. SA is a big producer of rhodium. World production rhodium is around 25 tons per year. A rare metal indeed. Yes, rhodium. And there are a few elements that are slightly rare like that. Ruble and yen will be strong. I would go yen if you have to have fiat. What about Bitcoin? So Bitcoin it's kind of semi-bullish, but it's actually needed. Personally, if it had not been such an all-fall-down global economy, Bitcoin would have been even stronger. But it's looking perky. It's looking perky. It just had a head and shoulders type structure where it had a little bump, then a major spike, and then it spiked all the way back down. It's had its sell-off now. It looks like it's done. And I think it's looking in pretty good nick. But the metals are better set up, but Bitcoin will be the biggest mover of the lot when it runs. We know that. Cryptos are a different game entirely almost to the normal markets. But that, as I say, that Korean won is going to be like a crypto setup, and you'll be able to trade it with leverage and liquidity on a much bigger scale, where you can leverage 5 on exchanges, or BitMEX excluded, because it's a derivative market, so it's worth just remembering that. You will see that in actual fact, it's going to get there. It's going to get there, Bitcoin. But it would have been actually nice if it could have let a little bit of the steam out, but it's too late. Everything else has got too crap too quickly. It needed a pullback. It's only having a slight pullback, and now it's been held up. So we don't know if that postpones the pullback entirely or whether it just shrugs it off and it goes up and starts running again. But at the moment, the metals are getting the big attention in terms of the break. The metals are getting the big interest right now. So for now, it's a metals market. It's a metals market. Let's just put that in. What else have you guys got for me? What else have you got for me? Go book a call in if you'd like to become part of the community with our guys from the website, themarketsniper.com. I never gave you that link. Damn. I'll put it in the recording. Come back to the video. I need time to find it. BullionVault. You can buy $5 a day if you happen to have $5 free, or you make, if you paid by the day or the week, and you can accumulate it. You can store it at a number of locations, including a place which I would recommend, Singapore. And you can definitely, you'll be able to buy gold, silver, platinum. I'm looking at the Bullion, the vaulted live board here. You can have gold, silver, platinum, and you can have Zurich, London, Singapore, and on platinum, you can only have London. But silver in Singapore, you can buy it in euros, pounds, and dollars. So you've got all three of those currencies. And it's simple, easy, and it works. Come back for the link. I will find it. While I'm talking to you, it's a bit distracting to be browsing. I'll put it in the message, and just quietly accumulate every week, guys. Quietly accumulate. It's 5, 10x in a year's time. Yeah, you will be just fine. Yeah, you'll be just fine. You'll be laughing and you'll be grateful and you'll be in the community and you'll be making the big trades. That's how it works. What else have you got for me? And then I'm going to sign off. What about DAX long? So you're getting interested in the equities. It's a difficult game, the equities, because there's going to be a lot of fear and drama. The equities will go up when the currencies are being utterly destroyed, but when the currencies, they're trying to hold them in the straight, the equities are going to sell off. That's going to be a scary, volatile game without setups. The game right now is the charts and the setups. The setups are currencies, short the Korean won against anything, ideally the yen, but it's very hard to find, do the dollar. Energies, expect them to be weak, expect financials to be exceedingly weak, expect cars and car manufacturing to be very, very weak, expect retail and consumption to be weak, expect gold and silver to be strong, expect Bitcoin to be strong, and trade those. USD try, that's actually quite an interesting question, because actually we were making good returns shorting USD try and picking up interest when the try overshot and was having its pullback. So what do I think of USD try, he asks. I'll tell you in a second. It's big action. It's the whole markets have come alive, guys. It's supposed to be quiet October. All the bankers are supposed to be away and all of that. See, try is holding up quite well because it was oversold. It was really oversold when it had that moon spike. It was part to punish him with sanctions. It's actually selling off nicely for my guys that are on here, the premium guys on here, for an RL2. So it could find a base at some point, but it could go lower first. So let's just post that for the guys in premium. Hide the links. USD try a bit more than an RL2. So thank you for that, for reminding me. I've got alerts there as well, but nothing major has been run. But that could be an interesting potential trade. But the main one, it's not far off. It's going to be properly big. And wow. And then, of course, your gold and silver. Small enough size so that you can sit through any pullbacks, forget about it, put that trade on, forget about it. Don't trade your P&L, don't look at it. If you're still in that trade a year from now and you've held it, I'm telling you, you've made money. If you've been shaken out, I'm telling you, you're a greedy idiot to put it on too big. You're going to decide. Not advice, just me talking aloud. So there you have it. What else have you guys got? What's XA and what is XAG? Gold and silver. What's up with my face, bro? My face has lived 1,000 years. I am the reincarnation. If you remember Rutger Hauer in the Blade Runner. I'm the man who's only been alive 2 years, but has seen many a thing. Lived 1,000 lifetimes, and I show it in my face. Francis, Peter North here, old porn star from America, huge fan. Hey, Peter, keep on banging them in, bro. Thank you. Yeah, good on you. North America, yeah, watch that exposure to the dollar. Get your gold. Get your gold. Are PM miners safe, or will governments confiscate over taxation? So you could see, so here's the replacement currency, SDR nonsense and all of this malarkey. This is going to probably run the realm of they're going to inject a bit of gold and have a portfolio. So you'll actually have private companies that will be able to issue new money. You need to think of it like this, but the money will be part of this basket. If you have X amount of ounces of gold and you have 1 million ruble, 10 million pounds, $50 million, 8 million yuan, in this kind of proportion, 37 million euro, and you put it in a pot, you can issue 1 million SDRs. In other words, it's a pot of currency where you're not exposed to the volatility of any one country, nation, state, and anyone who can put together that portfolio can then issue that currency. So you go and buy, so you'll have the national currencies, and then everyone will start to change. Think of it as a WOKU, world currency unit type effort. Great. Russian name, Russian star. I have profits thanks to you, sir. Absolute pleasure, mate. Well done. Good for you. You put the trade on and you did it. Definitely short alts. I've said it countless times, short alts. I've said BTC dominance. There's crap that needs clearing out. So Manuel Bastos, Francis, why not short alts? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Liquid ones. Particularly I'm for punishing XRP, but Ethereum as well. I mean, I gave a target, BTC Ethereum, and that might even have been met with Bitcoin holding up fairly strong and the others going down. Again, Bitcoin's gone down least on a down day, and it's actually rallying back up now. So 19,259 we are now, Bitcoin. 1.9%. You could have been short from 2.5. It'll go to 1.7. You will have lost a third. You would have made a third of whatever you shorted in Bitcoin. You shorted 10 Bitcoins worth of Ethereum. You're going to pick up 3 Bitcoin. Simple as that. You held it from there. You have to just put these things on and forget about them and not be too big and not be too greedy. Sometimes I've oversized. We all still like to go big and go large. It's just, yeah. Yeah, ETH needs a year to update shit. Long bonds. You see, I don't like that trade. I know if you watch Real Vision and Raoul, he's going to be like long the euro dollar and all of that. You see, these things are going to go up initially, but they will die in the end. There's too much debt. They will die. So what you're actually doing is you're holding your nose and you're buying them like that. And that's a bad idea. That's about, don't buy anything you don't want to own post reset, because the reset could be on you like that. It's like you're thinking someone's going to hit you, but you think you're safe, you've got a good distance, and then next thing you know, you feel this whack on the back of your head. It's too late. Don't position and pick a fight with something you don't want to be in a fight with, or don't buy something you don't actually want to hold through reset. Because the problem is, you'll say bonds and debt are a Ponzi scheme. There's probably going to be a debt jubilee. Do you understand? I mean, this is unsustainable. As an investment, they're going to have to zeroize so much. And they're probably going to be the equivalent of a debt jubilee. And they're going to probably, there might be a chance where they'll try to confiscate your gold, your silver, whatever the hell. So, yeah. So what else have we got for you? Litecoin test anonymity. Yeah, technical chart analysis of stocks is better than what overpaid golden parachute CEO says. Yes, definitely. Technical analyze, and the miners will come. So I was talking about this, and I'm going to finish on this. Get the good metals, the lead runners. Gold is the god market of precious metals. It runs first. Then silver started to catch up, and we had our first little wobble in the rising wedge for the breakdown that says, at some point, I'm going to start taking over on this race because I'm the high beta guy. And now it's back up in the wedge to the halfway mark and selling back down. So silver's not starting to say, once you start getting going and you're showing me a wake, I'm going to run harder. Then eventually platinum will turn. In the meantime, over-indebted miners may stop going down, those that are going down. Those that have got good balance sheets might already be going up. But I think this next stage is when you get a broad sweep, every single miner starts going. When it's, hey, this isn't a precious metal spike. This is a new normal for prices, and in fact it could be a new normal, higher normal at a higher level. So then suddenly everybody starts doing their recalculations on their thing. Jesus, this thing's undervalued now at this gold price. If that carries on for 4 or 5 years, and they start buying stocks. So the stock money doesn't come in fully yet, although they're aware of it. They'll be watching it. Some of them are already running. There's some that really got battered and they were producing below price. Yep. So I'm not going to trade the general stock market at all, apart from maybe miners broadly, because I'm just thinking, what's the S&P going to do? It could moon if they destroy the dollar. And if they try to hold the dollar so that the gold doesn't look like it's doing so well, it could collapse because there's real fear and there's not stuff being bought. So I don't want to do the long bonds trade that the other guys do. They're holding that's what I call a hold your nose trade, because you'll end up long bonds when reset arrives and they could zeroize the whole thing and you'll lose absolutely everything. Polymetal, Fresnillo. Yes, Fresnillo's one. Other miners that you might have a look at, there's Silver Wheaton in the States, if you want to have a little look-see down that side. Wheaton Precious Metals Corp. Starting to build. We've not got anything particularly pretty technically, although I'd say Frez could be at an extremist low, which it might not go any further on, and could be a very cheap entry with a very close stop. So it literally might be a highly speculative buy on the basis it's just recently hit its final low. And I wouldn't let it go lower than the 550 mark. Literally, I would treat it as that's my buy, and failing which, I'm out. So I'm going to buy a couple of things. I want to put on some trades. There's stuff going on in the markets. And I want to still get on it. Thanks for popping on. Pop over to the website and join us. Whatever your career, cannabis growers and porn stars are welcome, providing you pay your bill. Any geography is welcome. We are a meritocracy. We just love participants who love the markets and recognize the great game. We have a lot of IT guys, a lot of engineers. We're predominantly male, we have to say. I am clearly a genderist, a misogynist. No, I'm really not, but you guys choose me. The girls don't. Maybe it's my complexion, that face that the guy was going on about. Pleasure, Manuel. Catch you later. Utilities, yeah, supposedly defensive stocks. This is not going to be a normal bear cycle where you just reverse into defensive stocks like utilities. This is an end of times, end of cycle of the big cycle within many of the littler cycles. So what often holds, when things take a dump, they all take a dump. They're going to be really hard. And a lot of those unicorns that are cash burners, I don't want to be long the likes of Uber, Netflix, and some of them that are supposed to be the new Amazons of this world. They'll be a lot cheaper. Yeah, Peter was right in principle, fundamentally, Peter Schiff. He's just had no sense of timing. And now I'm 100% aligned with him because the technicals are there. I knew he would be right at some point, but you got to decide when you put, if buying silver at $13, there's a lot buying it at every time he called, you must buy now, 26, 24, 19, 18, 17. Every time was a must buy now. Now he says must buy now. It's a cry wolf situation. That's what I've tried to preserve, that we didn't do any false starts. And when we said bull market now, that actually it is the beginning of the bull market, and I think we got that largely right. But you know, he's a talented and very smart guy, and fundamentally he's absolutely right, and he expresses himself and communicates it well, almost to the point of being a bit belligerent at times. Oil can fall for me. I would bias bear, but it could also bounce around. We're undersupplied oil until they did all this fake oil, the not-for-profit oil, the fracking and the big decimation oil with environmental costs taken into account, and the tar sands of Canada also falls into the not-for-profit because it does so much damage. Wells Fargo is short for me, so I like shorting financials. I think you've got it all, guys. Korean one, weakness. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to leave you wanting more. Thank you for checking in, and we'll catch you later in the stream. Bye, bye, bye. Will we do the 1500? Will the rand fall through the floor? Will the Aussie join it in falling through the floor? Will they all dash to trash? That will mean the dollar will have to trash eventually because it's too strong relative to everything else, and that'll even push gold even higher in dollar terms as it moons in everything else. Watch it, be aware, watch your Bitcoin as well. Catch you on the other side of this. Thank you. Long goodbye. Cheers.